Another live. Oh man. How did these get down there? Mm-mm-mm. Oh. All right, y'all. Hopefully everybody is in good energy. Oof. Man, today was the day. Today was the day. Do you have I wear my beads all the time just because I want to. You don't have to. Um, I mean your leques, they give you, protection. So I don't take mine on off. I keep mine on. Now my necklaces, the necklace leques, I take them on and off as I see fit. Whenever I'm doing spiritual work, I'll put them on or something like that. But the bracelets, no, I keep the bracelets on. The bracelets I always keep on. I never take the bracelets off. Protection at all times, even when I'm asleep. People saying witchcraft at midnight too. Oh man. Even when I soak in the tub, I still keep my bracelets on because I know how to consecrate them. So normally when I take a spiritual bath or something like that, I reconsecrate my bracelets. Consecrating your bracelets is basically once you do Ebo, majority of your Ebo is gonna end up being is normally blood. So if you know how to consecrate them. So there's you can take them, you can keep them on if you know how to consecrate. If you don't know how to consecrate a bracelet or your necklaces, then yeah, you might want to take them off. But I'm always adding more energy and stuff like that to my leques. But y'all, I updated things on my website. So at first I was just doing I switched to emailed readings only, and emailed readings are beneficial. Number one is I like the fact that you can keep up with your reading. Is that all you have to do is go to your email and you can actually see if you're making progress and stuff like that. Emailed readings I really do love because you got it. You can read it as many times as possible. You can meditate on it and so much stuff. Those emailed readings give you so much detailed information. But I did add face-to-face readings back on my website as well. And so typically your face-to-face readings is really for the first time clients, where if this is your first time, doing a reading with me, yeah, you want to do a face-to-face reading. But after you have already had those, face-to-face readings, those video chat readings, it's best to go to email because you can keep track of everything. And then I also put Orisha divination as well on my website with the cowrie shells. And so it's getting divination from Ilegwa Eshu. And so that is on my website as well. So I added just, more different forms of divination that you can, choose email, you can choose face to face, you can choose Orisha divination. All of that is on my website. I added more products on my website as well. I have money oil that I made as well as love oil. Both of these are on my website. So you can order them from off my website. And then I also have Return to Me candles. So Return to Me candles is already on my website. They're already dressed and everything. On the website, it gives you the instructions on how to use them. But the one thing that I need to add on there is the uncrossing candles. Because whenever we're doing a return to sender, we want to do an uncrossing at the same time, at least in the same week. So we need to be doing both uncrossing and return to senders. They're both extremely important, and they're normally done at the same time. So those things are added to my website, and then it's still the same thing: protective jars, mojo bags, consecrated necklaces. All of those things are on my website, so you can check my website out and see those products. But especially for the people that have already ordered mojo bags, you really want to make sure that you get the oil, because that's how you keep your mojo bag active. You just take a few drops and put it on the outside of the bag. You don't even have to open the bag up. And so, that's one way that you can use oil. A lot of people really don't know how to use oils. They think that oil is only good for candles, but your oils are for more than just candles. The one thing about your oils is that it already have the herbs and everything in there of what you're supposed to be using. Like this one is money. It already have all of the money herbs in there. And then this one is for love. It already have the love oils in there. And so the typical way that we use oils that everybody know is with candles. So if you're using a strong and potent oil for your candles, you don't need to add any more herbs and stuff like that. Because let me show you a candle. So when the way that it is to dress a candle, because some of y'all use like too much, too much. So whenever you're trying to bring in money, money is always with a green candle. And so you'll take your money oil and you'll put drops in there and you circle it around, because the money oil already have the herbs and stuff in here. You have the herbs, you have the roots, you have the spices and everything for money in here, so you don't need to again put it in the candle, because sometimes people will put the oil and then they'll dress it with all of the herbs and spices and everything, and you got so much stuff compact in this candle that it don't burn, and then it start going out. And so that's a big no-no, because your candle is divination, and you don't want to do anything to stop that divination, so you know what's going to happen. If your candle burns extremely fast, that this candle should be lasting for a couple of days, and if it only lasts for 2 days, oh, just know money is about to come extremely fast. If the candle goes out, that means something is blocked when it comes to money, where it's like you're asking for money, but you don't have a channel for the money to go through. Where it's like you're asking for money, but you're not applying for any jobs. You don't have, you don't have a business that the ancestors can bless you through that. Where it's like then if you're on your job, it's like, you're not doing well on the job, you're not performing, that they can give you a promotion. And so when the candle goes out, you gotta start seeing where that blockage is. Whenever a candle goes out, that's a bad sign, and it means that there's a blockage, or it could simply mean that your faith and intentions is just not attached to this, that what you're asking for, you're not believing. If the flame is extremely high as the candle burn, that means your faith and intentions are very high. If the flames start dancing, that means that your ancestors is present and they're trying to speak to you. And so your candles, it gives you divination. If you start seeing black smoke, that could be somebody working against you, where while you're trying to manifest money, somebody is trying to stop your money. If you see If the blacks start putting all around the rims where it's not smoke anymore, but it actually get black on the glass, that means that magic is very strong and that magic is attacking you in ways that you probably don't realize. And when you see that, you can still continue with the candle. Don't blow it out or don't put it out. It's letting you know that you need to do a cleanse. You need to cleanse yourself now to free yourself of that negative energy so that the money working can do what it's supposed to do. And so candles are very powerful. I laugh at people when they say, when they try to talk down to people and they like, all you know is candle magic. Candle magic is very powerful. People try to make it seem like this is just very basic magic. And yes, it is very easy and basic, but candle magic is very powerful, especially when you pair it with your faith and intentions and when you do the right sums that go along with it. Candle magic can do a lot of things for you. It can open doors. It can remove certain type of witchcraft. Candle magic can do a lot of stuff, but it's up to you to make sure that you're getting the right color, that you're adding the right oils to it, and that you're adding the right herbs and everything. And like I said, there's no point of going overboard with the herbs if you already have the herbs in the oil. If the only time that I will put herbs inside the candle is if I don't have money oil or love oil. That's when I will take olive oil and I'll rub it on, and then I'll put the herbs. Maybe I'll put some angelic root. Maybe I'll put some banishing powder. Maybe I'll put hot foot powder. Whatever it is that I'm trying to manifest, that's when I will add the herbs. But when adding the herbs, I would always suggest you to take your fingers and push them to the glass to get them out of the middle of to get them out of the way of the wick, because you want the wick to burn right. You want this thing to burn. You don't want to stop the divination that comes with candles. Candles is very powerful divination, and you got to watch your candles to know what it is that the candle is telling you. The candle will tell you if this magic is going to be successful or not. The candle will tell you if somebody is blocking you in money. And so you got to make sure that you're not doing anything to interfere with the divination. Another way to do money, or another way to do candle magic, now this is a return to sender that I'm actually sending to a client of mine. And so another way you can do candles is that you can do the sticks. Now with the sticks, you can go a little crazy. That's when you can, you get whatever oil. This is a return to sender. So first you coat it with return to sender oil from top to bottom. And then from there, you add the spices, the herbs, that you crush everything up and you put it on the candle. So this one is different because this is not going to stop anything, because once you burn this thing is going to burn, that the spices and stuff is not going to get in the way. It's very different than a glass candle. With a glass candle, if you overpack it with herbs and everything, it will stop. It will stop the flow of the candle, and you can get false divination. Because if that candle goes out, you're going to think that your intentions weren't strong, or, somebody is blocking you or something like that, where it's like, no, the only reason it went out is because you overpacked the candle. And so it's like, this is not the candle telling you that something is wrong. You overpacked it. And so it's a little bit different with the stick candles. And so this is one of the things that I'm selling on my website as well, return the sender candles. So when I do, return the senders, I always send clients return the sender candles in sets of 3 or 7. And the reason why is because you got to understand, if somebody is doing magic on you, nobody is just doing magic that very one time and then they're stopping it. If somebody is doing magic on you, they're doing magic on you every single day. Every single day, they're sending you magic. Once a week, they're sending you magic. And as they start to see your life becomes destructive and you start losing everything, that's when they will go down to maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 months. And so the way that you the way that you the way that you defend yourself when someone is doing magic is that you do your return to senders, and you need to do an uncrossing as well, because a return to sender is going to send the magic back, and an uncrossing is going to uproot any magic that could still be lingering. And so both is technically done at the same time. And so the reason why I like to do more than one is because if that person is sending you magic every day, it's like, okay, what's the point of a return to sender if they're sending you that magic right back on Tuesday? And so it's like, spread it out. Get those 3 candles and do them 3 separate times, throughout the week. Or you can take the candles and do it once every Saturday, because Saturday is a good time for doing return to sender. And so every Saturday you can do a return to sender. But I think the biggest myth that we got to get out of, that a lot of people, the reason why you're still stuck and you're still suffering, is we think that it's a one and done. We think that a lot of times, a lot of people like to do one and done, that you think that you're doing this candle one time and it's just done. That's not how it works when people are sending you magic. You have different forms of magic, or 3 different phases that I like to say. You have your first phase where somebody is sending you magic. When someone is sending you magic, if you're cleansing yourself, if you're doing your return to senders, your uncrossing, it's done. That person magic is not even going to come in your house. That magic is not even going to affect anything in your life, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're going to your altar every single day, to your ancestor altars, and before saying the incantation, you know that we're supposed to take Florida water, and Florida water is supposed to be rubbed on your hands, the back of your neck, and then the rest is sprinkled on the altar. That is a cleansing in and of itself. And so if you're daily going to your altar and you're following the steps that you're supposed to be doing, then you're doing a daily cleanse. And especially if you're following up with incense in the home, with frankincense and myrrh, with sandalwood, with dragon blood, as long as you're doing those incense, and as long as you're doing, your cleansings and stuff at the altar, it's hard for somebody to send you magic, because you're actively doing things to keep your energy cleansed. Now, so when people send you magic, it bounce off of you. The shit don't even come near you. But the second phase is when we get caught without cleansing. And that's when magic is actually able to enter into our home. When magic is able to enter into our home, unlike the first phase, a cleanse can get rid of it. The second phase, you got to do a ritual. A ritual must be done now in order to get that magic out. A return to sender candle is a ritual. Uncrossing is a ritual. So candle magic is a ritual. And so whenever there is magic in home, you got to go above a cleanse, and now you have to do rituals. And so your rituals, whether you use candle magic, whether you use, it's so many different things you can use, whether you use different types of meats and stuff like that, because there's certain things that you can do with the orishas where there's easy and simple rituals in order to rid yourself of magic. One of the easiest rituals that you can do is taking 3 eggs and rub yourself with 3 eggs. And then once you get done rubbing yourself with 3 eggs, that you're putting it on top of Eshu. If you know the person that is sending you magic, if you know the person that's sending you magic, you're going to take those 3 eggs. First, you're going to cleanse yourself. You're going to cleanse yourself to remove the magic off of you with those 3 eggs. So you're going to cleanse yourself. Once you cleanse yourself, if you know the person that sent you magic, you're going to write their name on the egg. You're going to write their name on all 3 of the eggs. And you can put 777 on the top and the bottom of the egg, or you can put 888 because 8 is the number of karma. And you'll sit it on Eshu. You'll let it sit on Eshu for about maybe a day. You don't want to keep something with negative energy on your altar for too long. And so you'll literally sit it on top of Eshu for a day. And while it's on Eshu, you're going to take some hot sauce and you're going to drench those eggs with hot sauce. You're going to take some cayenne pepper, drench it with some cayenne pepper. You're going to take some black pepper, drench it with some black pepper. You're going to get all of these things that's hot element. And then once you get done with that, you're going to put on gloves, because remember, you're transferring that energy, that negative energy on you into the eggs. You're going to put on gloves and you're going to bury those 3 eggs. And it's always best to bury those 3 eggs by a tree, by a plant, or something very strong that is growing and healthy. You're going to bury that right under that. So especially if you're a homeowner, these rituals are very easy to do. And so you'll take it and you'll bury those eggs and watch how your enemies end up having so much problems. You know, that ritual in and of itself is better than a return to sender. So let's kind of back up and go over it again, because I shouldn't have said a return to sender on the first one. You know, the very first phase is when somebody is doing magic on you. The way you get rid of it on the first phase is cleansings. As long as you're doing your incense, your spiritual bath, your floor washes, you can do a tobacco cleanse. You can do an alcohol cleanse. It's so many different cleanses that you can do. As long as you're doing your cleansings to protect your energy, it's hard for magic to come in. Now, if we failed to cleanse our energy, we automatically go to the second phase, that now magic is in our home. And you will notice it, because it's gonna start changing things that was never a problem before. Like, if you were the type of person that you always had a beautiful face, and now all of a sudden you're breaking out. If you're the type of person that you had a really good kid that is mild-mannered, and now all of a sudden that kid is acting out. If you are the type of person that you have always been calmed in nature, but now you're getting an attitude with people, out of the blue, you're losing your hair, out of the blue, you're having health issues that the doctors can't explain, you're having smells and odors that you can't explain and you can't get rid of, those are signs that magic is here. Normally, when you are at this phase, in your dreams, you will start seeing animals. It will be animals trying to attack you. Animals, like you will see snakes in the grass. You will see wolves coming close to you. You will see a lot of animals and things like that in your dream, letting you know that there is magic in the house. And so when we're in the first phase, your dreams are going to be It may show you that somebody is envious of you or somebody is jealous of you. And sometimes we ignore those dreams because we don't know what to do with it. But then it start manifesting, the dreams start evolving as the magic evolved. And so if we didn't take heed in the first dream when it told us to cleanse, now the second dream is telling you, like, look, you battling a wolf, you're battling a snake. And it's like, now this is telling you you need to do a ritual. And so the second phase, when magic is in your home, you must do a ritual to get rid of that magic. You can cleanse all day, and a cleanse is not going to do the trick. You can do your Florida wash, you can do your sage, you can do all of that shit, and nothing is going to work when magic is in your home because you already failed with cleansing. Now you must do a ritual. A ritual must be done, and depending on how powerful the magic is, the ritual must match the power of the magic that was being sent. And so if somebody did a weak spell, even though those weak spells will still fuck up your life, if somebody did a weak spell, then you can get away with a smaller ritual to send that magic back and to get rid of it. In this phase, in the second phase, that is where your return to sender and your uncrossing come into play. That's when you would do a return to sender to send that magic back. And then you'll also follow up with an uncrossing because you want to remove the magic that's on you. And so let's just say it like this so that you can understand, and hopefully it makes sense. Let me know if it don't make sense. Let's say when the magic comes in the form of smoke. Let's use smoke, for example. And so this is you. So when the magic come in, you have all of this smoke rushing on you. And so a return to sender, it takes the smoke and it sends it back outside of your house. But because that smoke passed through you, you still have residence of the smoke on your physical body. That is what the uncrossing is for. The uncrossing removes the residue that is on your body from the smoke that came in. And so that's why it's important to do both. You must do a return to sender to send that smoke back, and then you need to do an uncrossing in order to remove the residue from the smoke that passed through you. Those two, they go hand in hand. And all too often, when you hear somebody talk about a return to sender, they only talk about a return to sender and they never talk about an uncrossing. And so when you do a return to sender only and you don't do an uncrossing, you will think as if somebody is still sending magic to you. And it's not the fact that they're still sending you magic. You still have things on you that you didn't get off of you. And that's the reason why both must be done at the same time. You return the sender and uncross at the same time. And this is what removes all of the magic. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Return to sender and uncrossing is done at the same time, or at least within the same day, at least within the same week. You must do both. Another ritual that you can do, because at this second phase, these are rituals that must be done now. You can always get 3 eggs. This is working with Eshu. If you have your warriors, Ilegwa, Eshu, Ogun, and Ochosi, use them. Use your warriors. You can do a lot of things with your warriors. There's a lot of things that I can't teach you online because this is a closed practice and they don't like when people teach the uninitiated how to work with the orishas, but this is a basic spell that even witches do. But the only thing about it, we do the same ritual, but we add the deities with it. And so this is an easy and simple ritual that you take 3 eggs, even though they're expensive as hell now, and you cleanse yourself with the 3 eggs to remove the magic off of you. And you will cleanse yourself 3 times. You will cleanse yourself with the eggs from top to bottom. Once you have cleansed yourself with the eggs, if you know who your enemies are, you're going to write their name in the middle of the egg. And then on the top, you're going to put 777 or 888. And on the bottom, you're going to put 777 or 888. And you're going to let it sit on top of Eshu. So Eshu is always going to have a flat surface majority of the time. And so you take Eshu and you put those 3 eggs on top of Eshu. Once you put those 3 eggs on top of Eshu, drench them with hot sauce. Drench them with palm oil because palm oil is a fire element. Drench them with cayenne pepper. Drench them with black pepper. Drench them with red pepper flakes. You're drench them with chili pepper. You're gonna use a lot of hot element on top of those eggs. You're gonna let them sit not too long because you don't want negative energy to stay in your house for too long, because this ritual is now taking negative witchcraft off of you and it's putting it on top of Eshu, but you still have it in your house, so you don't want it on Eshu for too long. The max that you should keep that on top of Eshu is 24 hours or less. Once you do that, you will put on gloves when you get ready to get that off of Eshu, and you're going to take those 3 eggs and you're going to bury those 3 eggs. You're going to bury those 3 eggs under a tree, under a plant or something. You're going to bury those 3 eggs and just watch how your enemies will be revealed to you once you do shit like that. If you don't know who your enemies are, you can always put to all my enemies known and unknown. And of course, whenever you're working with Ilegwa Eshu, make sure that the marker that you're using in order to make sure the marker that you're using in order to write on those eggs is either black or red. You want to stick with his colors. Those are rituals. Those are simple rituals that you can do. The third is when magic has taken root. When magic has taken root, that means that let's say somebody is doing a love spell. When somebody initially do a love spell, the whole purpose of it is to make you fall in love. Or let's say, because technically that's not a love spell, because people always mix those two up. A domination spell to dominate you. This is to dominate you in love, where it's to take away your free will. The first thing is, when they do this, you're going to start thinking of this person. That's going to be the first sign. You're going to start thinking where it's like, out of the blue, you haven't thought about this person in a long time, and you like, I wonder what Brandon is doing. Right then and there, that's your sign that you need to cleanse yourself. Why are you thinking about that no good nigga that you let go years ago? It's like, cleanse yourself. That is the sign that you need to cleanse yourself, because your spirit is telling you, look, you're thinking about this person for a reason. You let this person go, and you know that this person is no good for you. And so even in your dreams, you would like see this person. And so it's like, in that moment is letting you know you need to cleanse yourself. Now, when we ignore those signs and we go deeper into it and we like, oh, maybe, Brandon wasn't all that bad. now the magic has come in our house. Now we're at the stage of a ritual. Now, in order to get this magic that Brandon sent to you off of you, now you got to do a ritual in order to get that off. And so that's when now you would have to do a return to sender, or you would have to do a very powerful ritual in order to rid yourself of this magic. At this point, when you are at this stage, this is the stage now where it starts to manifest things in the physical. And so now, instead of just thinking about him, you're texting him. You're going over spying on him. You're looking at his Facebook and his Instagram, that you're falling into the trap that he set for you to follow. And so once magic has taken root, and so normally at this stage in your dreams, when someone is doing love magic, you might be kissing the person in your dream. You might be flirting with the person in your dream. And the dream will still let you know that this is magic, because it will be something sneaky attached to it. Like, you may be flirting with this person in your dreams, and then the dream show you that he has a family on the side. Like, the dream is gonna show you that, like, this is not God pairing y'all two together, that this is magic. But when we fail to take heed of that, and the magic has taken root, once magic has taken root, especially with a domination spell, baby, nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can tell you nothing. No matter how much your mama, your daddy, your sister, and your brother try to tell you that this man is no good, you are convinced that you are head over heels in love with this person. You are convinced that this person is your twin flame, your soulmate, your divine counterpart. Domination spells can get crazy and out of control. And that's the dangerous things about domination spells, is that when they do a domination spell, it's so hard to do a ceremony because you don't see it as magic. If the person did the domination spell correct, you don't see it as magic. You see it as you falling head over heels in love extremely fast. You see it as, this is my soulmate, my twin flame, and divine counterpart. And so normally, when I have had clients that I had to do ceremonies in order to remove domination magic, it wasn't the person under the spell. It was their mother. It was their sister. It was their brother. It was their cousin. It was always somebody else that they were like, I noticed that this is just completely off. Like, she is eating from the palm of his hand. She's worshiping the ground he walks on. And this is not normal. This is not her normal behavior. And so it's always a family member that's reaching out to me. And they are like, hey, can you go in the cards and see if this is a spell? And then I'm doing the ceremony. And it's very rare for me to do a ceremony on somebody without their permission. But whenever there is a domination spell at play, you're never going to get that person permission. That person is always going to think that they are heads over heels in love with this person. They are going to think that this is their soulmate, this is their soulmate, this is their twin flame, this is their divine counterpart. And instead of treating it like a twin flame, they worship this person as if this person is God. All right, good night, love you. All right, get some sleep. And so they end up worshiping this person like they're God. You got to be very careful with domination spells. Domination spells are, and so normally, let's go back to the dream wise now. In the dreams, whenever the spell has taken root, you are literally having sex with the person in your dreams. You are, normally when you see animals is a sign that you're in the second phase. But whenever the animal is attacking you and they bit you, that means that the magic has taken root. Whenever there is an animal biting you, you eating food in your dreams, somebody taking something off of you, like a necklace or something like that, you're having sex with somebody. Those are all signs that the magic has taken root. When magic has taken root, you can do all the cleansings in the world. You can do all the rituals in the world. Nothing is going to get rid of its magic at that point but a full-blown ceremony. A full-blown ceremony must be done now in order to get rid of that magic. And and another difference between the phases. When you were at the first phase that you're doing the cleansings is using your own spiritual power. Is using your own spiritual ashe. When you are at the stage of a ritual, rituals are normally you're using the ancestors, or you're using you're using a deity that is like over spirits and the dead. Like, you might use Sarabanda, you might use Mama Cholo, Madre Diagan, Cobedia, Tiembratera, Ciita Reyes. You may use one of them whenever it comes to a ritual. But whenever it comes to a full-blown ceremony, you're using the Orishas. That's when you're using the Orishas. Now, Sarabanda is good with ceremonies as well. So I'm not going to knock Sarabanda. Sarabanda is very powerful. Sarabanda is a very powerful warrior and Palo Mayambe, and he is known for stripping and removing all types of witchcraft. And so Sarabanda is very powerful. Sarabanda is the combination of Ilegua, Ogun, and Oduduwa. He's the combination of those three. Sarabanda is very powerful, but Sarabanda is not an Ifa deity. He's not an Orisha. He's in Palo Mayambe. And so it's the cousin religion of Ifa. But whenever there's a ceremony, the reason why ceremonies can be so expensive, normally when somebody is doing a ceremony for you, it could be like $2,000, it could be $3,000, it could be $5,000. And because majority of the time when it comes to a ceremony is blood magic. Animals are being sacrificed. It's all types of things in order to rid you of that magic. Sometimes, just like you did the ritual with the eggs, that you're taking that egg and you're putting the negative energy off of you onto the egg. It's the same way with a ceremony, but instead of using eggs, it's using the actual animal. It's using the animal to cleanse you and to strip that magic off of you and putting that into the animal and using that animal as a sacrifice for the deities. Whenever you get to the stage of a ceremony, this is Old Testament. This is like the rituals that was done in Old Testament when they had to do sin offerings and all these other things. That's what ceremonies are. Ceremonies is blood magic. Blood magic is the highest that you can go, and that is the thing that strip away things when you are completely bound. But my thing is, it doesn't have to get there. Majority of the time, magic take root because we notice every single step and we do nothing about it. Some of us, we do nothing about it. As we start losing our job, and as we lost our relationship in the same week, and then we lost our car in the same week, and then we lost our house in the same week. It's like nothing in your mind is telling you that this is off, that this is not normal, and now you're having health problems. Nothing in your mind is telling you that this is off. Some of my clients, it's like they allow magic to stay on them for years before they actually do something about it. And when you have allowed magic to stay on you for years, don't think that one ceremony is going to rid you of 5 years of witchcraft. Don't think that one ritual is going to rid you of 5 years of witchcraft. We gotta make sure that we're stop allowing these things to just stay on us for a huge period of time. Like some of you, ever since you left your ex, you haven't been able to find somebody. Come on, why is that? Especially if you know that you're an attractive person and you have always been able to pull people. Why is it that your doors are closed? Maybe somebody is doing magic on your love life. You know, some of this stuff, we gotta think things through. When things are not natural, we gotta automatically start assuming that it's witchcraft. When your relationship ended abruptly and it didn't follow the natural thing, where even when a man cheats on you, even when a man treat you like shit, the moment that you say, I'm done, we getting a divorce, the first thing they do is, no, please don't leave me. They will quickly get out of their pride to fight for you. When that step is skipped and this person just ghosted you and this person just disappeared out of your life and this person didn't fight for you and this person act like 10 years of marriage was nothing, that is witchcraft. When it is not following the natural flow of things, that is witchcraft that is being done. Now we gotta say, we gotta break this witchcraft, and then we gotta figure out who did the separation spell. Who did this fucking separation spell? Who brought this chaos magic in my life? And even with that, there will be signs. Even in that, there will be signs, because you will start noticing that your arguments with your partner will get more intense, where you will start seeing levels that you never seen before. Yeah, they have always yelled, but like they have never disrespected me. They have never called me out of my name. They have never broke things in the house. They have never, tried to put things in my drink. That's witchcraft, baby. That is witchcraft. And, some of you, if you actually do the things you're supposed to be doing, you can prevent it from even going to a separation. If you notice that it's witchcraft and you start doing ceremonies and stuff like that to break that magic, you can actually save your marriage. You can save your relationship. But it's when we don't do anything and we allow this magic to take root. The root of a separation spell is to separate you. And so if you just looking at the magic and you don't do anything, when the magic take root, you two will be separated. And some of these people are crazy. Some of these people will try to do a love spell on you, and then when a love spell don't work, they like, fuck it, I'm just finna fuck up your life, and I'm just finna send you chaos magic. Y'all, we gotta protect ourselves. And I tell people all the time is that, we all should be doing magic on ourselves every single time, every single day. We should be, when you are doing magic on yourself, it's hard for somebody else to influence your energy. None of us is at a point that we are billionaires and we don't have to worry about money. The basic thing that we can be doing is money spells. We can be doing money spells, doing candles, all types of stuff, because money is the one thing you don't want influence, because that is the thing that most people try to attack when they send you magic, because it's going to take money in order to get this magic off of you. And so the first thing people try to do is fuck with your money. The first thing people try to do is fuck with your money. Because they know that if you don't have money, nobody, by the kindness of their heart, is going to do a full-blown ceremony for you in order to get that magic off of your life. Money is the first thing that they attack. These are simple things that we can do with, like with the money oil. An easy thing that you can do with money oil. We only think that oil is used for candles. An easy ritual you can do with money oil. You take a couple of drops and you rub your hands, and you keep this oil on you all day long. And now, whenever you're rubbing your hands, you're praying, you can recite Psalms 4, or you can come up with something personal. Everything that my hands touch is going to multiply. Everything that my hand touch is going to be prosperous. It's going to be abundance. Your hands is the area for money. Your hands is the area for money. Your hand and your feet. And so you can take money oil and rub your hand and rub your feet. Remember, whenever you want something to come in, it's your feet up. Whenever you want something to go out, it's your head down. And so you can take money oil and rub your hands so that everything that your hand touch will be blessed, and then also rub your feet so that everywhere you walk, you are walking in the direction of money. You are driving in the direction of money. And then, I like the scripture in the Bible where it says, I like the scripture, man, I forgot the exact words. Because people, when Mary took the oil and poured it on Jesus, and she specifically poured it on his feet. People don't realize all of the spirituality inside of the Bible. The feet, when something is on the feet, it's coming in your body. That means your feet, so money, you want to come towards you, so it's the feet up. Love, you want it come towards you, so it's the feet up. Prosperity and abundance, it's the feet up. Now, when you're trying to rid yourself of witchcraft, it's the head down. When it's any type of protection, it's the head down, because your protection is saying, I want something off of me. I don't want anything to get on me or get in me. And so it's the head down. And so it's very significant where they place the oil. And so she placed the oil on his feet, and even with the tears on his feet and wiping it with his hair. And I forgot the exact words that Jesus used, but Jesus said something on the line of, whenever you, because it was when she did the tears and the wiping of the hair, and he said something about the feet, that it's the lamp of the body, that it lights up the body or something like that. I have to go back and get the exact same words. Your feet is very important. Feet is receiving energy. And this is why when you go over somebody's house, you are never barefooted. You don't know what spells they're casting over there. You don't know what prayers they're saying over there. Even these people that are so-called Christians, you don't know what they're praying over there. You don't know what they're saying over there. These people could be gossiping about every church member in the church, and that stuff is energy. That is what's infused in their floor. And then the next thing you know, you're gossiping. You in some mess. You never go into somebody's house barefoot. You always need to have some on your foot when you go into somebody else's house, because it's receiving energy. You will pick up everything that person is casting in that house. Whether it is cast through witchcraft and spells, or whether it is cast through their mouth. Be careful. Be careful where your foot lands. And so money oil can be used in a lot of different ways. And so your hands, so everything that your hand touches is blessed, and you let it stay on your hands all day long. And it's the same thing with your feet, that it drives you towards money. And you can always take it and anoint your third eye, but anointing your third eye with money oil, it will help you to focus on money. And so when you take money oil and anoint it on your third eye, you will start getting visions and dreams of like opening your own business, getting creative ideas about money, of how to bring money in. Next thing you know, you were thinking about possibly getting a second job. And so the third eye, it opens you up to start thinking about money and creating creative ideas for money. The hands, it blesses the works of your hands, that you are receiving money and you're calling money in. That's why when money is coming in, your hands itches. And then you have your feet, which is the gate of receiving, because it allows it to come in your body, that money will end up overtaking you, that you will have money in your life. Love oil. Where do love go? Love is not just for pink and red candles, especially if you are having a hard time moving on, if you are having a hard time letting someone go. Love is, of course, the heart. You would take the love oil, you'll do a couple of drops, and you would rub your chest. So, yes, ladies, you better rub those titties with oil. You got to rub your chest. Normally, I do both of mine, but you only have to do the one on the left side where your heart is. But I just like to do both. You rub your heart chakra. That is very important for bringing love in, especially if you're having a hard time getting over somebody, or if your heart chakra is blocked. If your heart chakra is blocked, you definitely need to take some love oil, and you need to rub your chest with love oil. And this is something that needs to be applied every single day. And then, of course, you can always do the third eye. The third eye, whenever you anoint your third eye with love oil, it will help you to focus on love. So don't be surprised when you use love oil on your third eye if you start crying out of the blue, if you start being more emotional, that you can start watching TV shows and the littlest things that get you crying and stuff like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that to Samantha. That's what love is for. Love is the unblock the chakras. Because in order for love to come in, you must be at a certain frequency. And that is what the love oil is doing when you're putting it on you directly, that is breaking whatever is in you that is not allowing you to get to that frequency. Love oil is very powerful, and it's more than just trying to bring a nigga in. It's more than just trying to get dick and pussy. Love oil is also about self-love, caring for yourself, understanding your worth, knowing that you are worthy. These are things that you could be doing, especially if somebody is trying to send you magic that you think less of yourself, that you are isolating yourself and you think that you're not worthy. Those are things that's messing with your chakras. Unblock your chakras by using the oil. And so you can take this oil, rub it on your chest, and you will start noticing things changing. And then, of course, take a dab, put it on your third eye. This will have you to start focusing in love. And then what is the third point that I just told y'all? Where is the third point that you're going to put the love oil? Because love is something you want to come in. Where is the third place? You got the chest, you got the third eye. Where is the third place that you will put it? Let's see if y'all paying attention. Nope, it's not going to be the throat. Remember, which one is the powerful receiver? It's the feet. The feet is the receiver. The feet is to bring things in. And so the feet is going to be very important. And so, it is said when I was in the medical field, because I was a nurse in the Navy. And they said that within your feet, it's like veins and everything in your feet that connects to everything in your body. that it connects to every single thing in your body. And when I learned about that, I was like, no wonder it's so powerful on the spiritual side. Your feet is very important on the spiritual aspect. It is the receiving. Your feet receives energy. Your head let things go. The head is where you, for protection and stuff like that, this is where your Ori lives. And so this is the side of letting that shit go, where it's like, look, we don't want no problems, but your feet is to receive. And so even bringing love in, you can actually rub your feet with love oil and it will bring love in. It will help you in these situations where you're feeling lonely, where you're feeling depressed. That's what love oil is for. So there's so many things that you can do with oil. Oils is good for spiritual bath. Put oil in your spiritual baths. It already have the herbs and everything in here. It's a lot of things you could do. It's a number of things that you can do with love oil and money oil and all different types of oils. You can use them for mojo bags. You can use them for protective jars or love jars. You can use them for sour jars and sweet jars. Oils is more than just for candles. That is the thing that I'm trying to nail down on. Love is more than just for candles. If we are only using these for candles just to do candle magic, we are not using oils. Oils are very powerful. We're not using them to their full ability and to their full extent. That's just like even preparing your candle. I would automatically, before you do any ritual, I would take a shower, cleanse yourself. Nobody want no nasty ass person. Clean yourself. Once you clean yourself, I would automatically take Florida water and I would cleanse myself. You would cleanse yourself from what? The head down. Cleansing is removing negative energy. So whenever we're removing negative energy, it's from the head down. So once we get done cleaning ourselves in the bathtub, we're going to take Florida water once we pat ourselves dry, because remember, this was not a spiritual bath. This was just a regular bath. So you can take a towel and get that shit up off you or pat yourself dry, whatever you want to do. Whenever there's a spiritual bath, you got to air dry. You cannot get a towel. You gotta air dry. But this wasn't a spiritual bath. This is just a regular bath. So we can take the towel, remove all of the excess water so that we can get our body as dry as possible. Once our body is dry, we're gonna take Florida water and we're gonna do Florida water from our neck all the way down, because you don't have to put it on your face. The whole part is start from the top to the bottom. So you can do your neck all the way down to your feet. Once you get done with the Florida water, that's when, if we're going to do a money ritual, we're going to take the oil and we're going to anoint our hands, we're going to anoint our third eye, and we're going to anoint our feet. And so you'll start from the bottom down. And so first you'll do your feet, then you'll do your hands, then you do your third eye. You're following the exact same step. When you want to receive something, it's from the bottom up. When you want to let something go, it's from the head down. And so now, since we cleansed ourselves with the Florida water, we're going to take the money oil and we're going to do our feet first. Then we're going to do our hands. Then we're going to do our third eye. That's when we are going to go to the area that we're doing the money ritual. The first thing that we're going to do, we got to do the same thing. First, we must cleanse the space where the ritual is going to be done. And you still want to keep in mind with what you're trying to manifest. Since we're trying to manifest money, let's get something sweet. Let's do some sandalwood. Or, because this is money and the candle is green and Ogun is really good with money, let's do some dragon blood so that we can give that as an offering to Ogun And then as we light this candle, we can now say, Elegwa, open the door, Ogun, clear the path, and we gave offering from the dragon blood while also cleansing our space. So we're going to cleanse our space with some dragon blood. We're going to put that all in the air. And once that, as we're doing the incense, we're praying. You know, this space is going to be cleansed. You can do your prayers at this moment. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive our debts and as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. You can recite Psalms that is directly associated with the color candle. You're trying to attract money and the candle is green. This is Psalms 4. So you can start reciting Psalms 4. Once the incense is done, because it's all about faith and intentions, once the incense is done, we're going to take the money oil and we're going to do some drops, and we're going to do clockwise. And so we're going to rub that oil onto the candle. Now, that's all you need to do. If you want to spice it up a little bit more, if you say, you know what, I want to spice this up a little bit more, you can get a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg, and then get a bay leaf, and on the bay leaf write money or write the money sign. And then from there, you'll light the candle and you'll take some scissors to hold the bay leaf, and you will burn the bay leaf as you're reciting Psalms 4. And boom, that is a very powerful ritual. Very powerful ritual for bringing money in. Now the only thing you need to make sure is that you have the right channel in order to receive this money that's getting ready to come in. My phone is about to die. My phone is always at the point that it's getting ready to die. My phone is at 5%. Because I wanted to do a little reading as well to see what's in the cards. So let me. Okay. So there's a lot of things that we can do, y'all. I strongly suggest that you do these simple things every single day. This stuff don't take a lot of time, and it's very hard for somebody to try to disrupt your energy when you are already doing things in your energy. And then not only that, it's the same way that we learned when we were going to church. Because let's be real, majority of us spiritual people, we started in the church. And just like when we were in the church, we daily spoke in tongue. And even to this day, I still speak in tongue. Because I do see the benefit of it. Just like we learned to constantly speak in tongue and to constantly read our Bibles and to constantly do these things, because the more you do it, the stronger you become, the more it strengthens your faith, the more it strengthens your knowledge. It's the same way with rituals. The more you do it, it strengthens your ashe. And the next thing you know, you start bringing in more and more things. And so, I remember when I first did a money spell, it was only a couple of money that it wasn't much that I was able to manifest. But the more and more I start doing it, I start getting more and more money. More and more money start coming to me. And it got to the point where I needed money in order to do my ceremony to become a priest. And it was $17,000. That shit wasn't cheap. Oya is not cheap. It was 17,000. 17,000. That shit was $17,000. Who the fuck got $17,000 just laying around? And I remember that I went to Yemaya. I went right over there to Yemaya. And I told Yemaya, I really want to become priest. You were the one that led me down this religion. I need you to help me. Boy, Yemaya in a dream told me to do a ritual. I ended up doing that ritual and money came just like that. Money start flowing in just like that. And that's the one thing that I don't understand sometimes when people are always like, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't have the money to do it and stuff like that. You're not talking to the Orishas. Like when I pray to the Orishas, y'all got to get out of this mindset of doing that shit that church taught you. Did you just use these extravagant words and you just think that, oh, and by the sun and the sea and the moon and the stars, it's like, that's not prayer. Prayer is going to them as real as possible. And I remember going to Yemaya and I'm like, look, girl, I don't have it. Like, I really want to do this and I just don't have it. You're having a regular conversation with them like you would have with anybody else. And it's like, Yemaya, I really want to do this. This is something I really want to do. Can you bless me in order to do it? And that is when she opened the door. And it's like, y'all got to learn how to talk to them regular, just like you would talk to anybody else. It was the same way when I grew up Christian. I grew up Pentecostal Apostolic. I did the same thing when I would pray to Jesus. Never once did I have this extravagant, word choice that will go over my head and that will go over everybody else's head. And the spirits don't know what the fuck you're really asking for. I had a regular conversation where I would always, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I know that you're going to heal me because your word says, by your stripes I'm healed. You said that healing will sprout up in the morning time. So Lord, I'm believing you that my body is going to be healed, that you're going to remove this element from my body and that I'm going to be healed in the name of Jesus. It was the same way when I was in Christianity. It's like, you got to talk. The whole purpose of these deities is to build a relationship. You're not building a relationship trying to be something that you're not. You're not building a relationship asking for things that you know that you really don't want. Like all of the gay people praying for a wife, knowing that you're going to cheat on that wife with a man. You gotta come in spirit and in truth. Let go of what people want you to be. Let go of what people taught you to be. Let go of all of these expectations from society and go within and realize what it is that you want and speak from that spirit. When we do things, we must speak in spirit and in truth. We must speak in spirit and in truth. That is the only way that things will manifest, is if we are already in alignment with what it is that we're trying to manifest. And we are completely in alignment when we are speaking in spirit and in truth. Let go of what your mama thinks. Let go of what your daddy taught you. Let go of all of this other shit and nonsense and go to them in spirit and in truth. You must be naked. You must be vulnerable. You must be stripped of all of these expectations. And it's in that moment that your prayers will be heard, that your prayers will be received. Stop praying for things that you know you don't want. No, boy, naked in a spiritual sense. I'm snorting. Naked in a spiritual sense. No, don't be up there naked at your altar because you was like, hey, Rashad told me to be naked. No, spirits don't like that. Naked in the spiritual sense. You must be naked as in being vulnerable, letting go of the expectations and all of these things that man want you to be. And you must be what you know that you want to be. You said, baby, all I heard was naked and I already started taking off my clothes. Naked, I can do that shit. Oh man. You said, no, baby, you said nothing but a word. Now I can be naked in 5 minutes. Shit. Let me take this shit off. Oh man. Thank you, Spirit. Boy, thank you, Spirit. But no, y'all, for real, it's a lot of stuff we can be doing. Go to my website, check out the products, and then, for all of you that are in the religion, that if you follow Ifa or you follow Palo Mayambe, or, make sure that you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Because in Ifa, the 3 things that we need to be doing every single month. We need to be doing a reading with a priest or a Babalao. We need to be doing Igbo, and we need to be doing a cleansing. Those 3 things must be done. Those are the 3 things that I never skip out on. And I know people that have been in a religion longer than me or been on this spiritual path longer than me. They always ask me, like, why am I so blessed? It seemed like the Orishas are always listening to me and stuff like that. And it's like, I take heed to stuff. I do what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's a lot of people that they just don't do it. Like you would even have in readings that an Igbo must be done because you got witchcraft on you. And some people will hear it and ignore it. And it's like, that's not me. When the Orishas speak, we are supposed to be listening. And I get it. Sometimes we don't listen because we think that the person is trying to scam us out of money. And so you got to get with somebody that you're comfortable with. You got to get with somebody that you can trust. That is the main thing, is get with someone that you can trust. There's different forms of divination. I do love tarot cards because tarot cards is Igun. I'm a kid of Oya. Oya is the goddess of Igun. And so tarot cards tap into Igun, spirit guides, and ancestors. But, whenever there is divination, it depends on the divination. Whenever you're doing Igbo, you do coconut divination. That's when you take the fresh coconut and the water, and you got to feed the Orishas and everything. But whenever you're trying to talk to an Orisha directly, those are the cowrie shells. The cowrie shells must be tossed, and they will give you an Odu, and then you toss it again, and it'll give you another Odu. And based on those 2 Odus, it'll tell you a lot of things. And so there's different forms of divination. Yeah, I like coconut. Coconut is good, but coconut is used for divination as well. Somebody said, I'm a prophet, I was sent by God. That's a fucking lie. Y'all gotta have discernment. Stop letting people just come up in your life just telling you any shit. Talking about some, I'm a prophet, I was sent by God. That's a fucking lie. God didn't send you here. Because God would have told you, God would have told you in the beginning, number one, like, if somebody come to me, number one, they need to be melanin. I mean, no offense, I like melanin in the bloodstream. I like melanin for me to receive things. Because I mean, number one, and it's not saying, it's hard for a white person to relate to us. They can't relate to us. They don't understand our struggle. They don't understand the thing that we went through. They don't understand the thing. And so, it's God wouldn't send me nobody. God wouldn't send me that. God would send me somebody. Number one, they're going to be melanin and they're going to be awakened. It's going to be somebody that understand us, that understand our struggle, that understand our past, that understand where we are currently at, and understand where God is trying to get us to go. And so that is the person that God will send to me. God is not going to send me somebody that's not melanin, because you don't understand our struggle. You don't know what we've been through. You don't even understand that it was because of all the oppression that all of these things was created. That's why voodoo was created. That's why hoodoo was created. That's why Ifa was created. That's why all of these things was created. Y'all wanted to give us y'all white savior and to worship y'all white savior. And majority of us still worship that white savior to this day. So no, Yahweh is not going to give me somebody that's, no. Yahweh going to give me somebody melanin. Spirit knows exactly what you need. Like, I don't need the oppressor. Like, what the hell? Like, my antennas wouldn't even entertain that message. I wouldn't even listen to the shit. That comment threw me off. I try not to read the comments because the comments be throwing me off. Because I was like, who sent you? No, I'm like, wait a minute. No, God knows fucking better. No, I'm like, nah, that ain't no God, honey. That ain't no God. That is not no God. I don't know what God you, maybe you're channeling your ancestors that was the slave owners. That's probably who trying to get my attention. And I'm like, no, I rebuke that. Okay, let's get to the reading. Let's get to the reading before another prophet pop up. Let's just get to the reading. And I'm gonna and I'll tell you just like I tell people when it comes to divination. And this is how you know people just be prophesying. God will never tell somebody outside of you something before he tell you. God will never do that. People are so, and see, that's one of the things that I've always hated about Christianity, is how Christianity is always out of order, is that they think that they can just go to somebody and say, oh, thus saith the Lord. This is what the Lord said. That's a bold fucking lie. And it's the audacity. God will never tell anyone anything without telling them first. God will always tell them, give them a dream, give them synchronicities or something. And the reason being is so that because God already told you, when the person do come and they confirm what God told you, that is why we have these aha moments. That's why we say, oh, this reading resonates. It resonates because God was already speaking to you. Spirit is not going to send something outside of you before communicating with you first. Spirit is always going to prepare you first to receive the message that is getting ready to come by telling you what is getting ready to come. And then the person is confirming what it is that God already told you. So unless you telling me I'm a millionaire, baby, you ain't no prophet. Don't be telling me. And see, and that's how, y'all have to be. We got to be more bold and stop letting these people just say and do whatever in our lives. Christianity is the most disorganized out of all of the religions. And it's because everybody think they're a prophet. Everybody think that they're an evangelist. Everybody think that they're an apostle. Everybody think that they're a minister. Everybody think that they're a teacher. And then when you even ask them about the Bible, they don't even know the Bible. Y'all will put anybody in the pulpit. And majority of the time, you'll put somebody in the pulpit just because they said they hate the gays. That person don't know nothing about God, but because they fit into your hatred, but because they fit into what you don't like, you will put them in a position to rule over people and to guide them spiritually. No, that's not how it's supposed to be done. They had a form of divination in order to choose who was the apostle. They cast a lot. That is something that a lot of people don't even realize. Is the casting of lot is divination. They did a form of divination in order to confirm that this is what Holy Spirit and this is what God is saying. That God is saying that this is supposed to be the apostle. They cast lot. And we don't even know how to even do that today. How to cast lot to hear if God is speaking. We cast lot. We cast lot using the coconut shells. And that is the one reason why I loved Ifa, is because everything that is in the Bible and Old Testament, divination, the casting of lots, animal sacrifice, all of the rituals, all of the feast days that you're supposed to remember, Ifa do every last one of those things, and Christianity don't do none of it. They're too busy entertaining the secular world. When we're supposed to be celebrating Jesus' resurrection, we're too busy hiding Easter eggs, celebrating a whole nother different deity with the damn bunny. We're supposed to be celebrating the birth of Christ, which wasn't even in December. It had to be in Pisces season. But regardless, if we're going to celebrate it in December, let's at least do it right. But instead of bringing him gold, frankincense, and myrrh, we're sending these kids all of these gifts and making ourselves bankrupt because we feel that we got to give our kids everything on a day that we're supposed to be celebrating a deity. That we made it about self, that nobody give gifts to the deity. Nobody give him a gift like the three wise men did, and like everybody that's seen Jesus. I'm like, y'all got to get you. We don't do that on feast days for the Orishas. No, that will be the day. that we will do that for an Orisha, that we will give everybody else in the house a gift but the Orisha. These are the things that we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be celebrating these feast days. We're supposed to be acknowledging them for what they have done. But y'all are doing everything but that. Y'all got a white man going down a chimney, praising him for giving kids gift that he didn't even give them, that the parents went and bankrupt in order to give the kids. And once again, praising a white man for it. That will be the day I buy a gift and tell my kid that a white man gave it to him when I was the one that bought it. I don't even want you thinking that Santa Claus came into this house. I bet not hear you say nothing about no damn Saint Nick. You better say Daddy Rashad. Shit. Oh man. I done spent my hard-earned money to buy you a gift, and you think I'm finna give somebody else credit for it? Boy, the devil is a damn lie. The devil is a goddamn lie. That will be the day. I'm finna put my name all on that shit. It came from me, Daddy. Not no damn Santa Claus coming down the chimney. We don't even have no fucking chimney. Then not to mention that's trespassing. Like, come here, I'm locking your ass up. I'm calling the cops. You come here, I'm locking your ass up. You finna be locked up for the night. No, you come here and trespass in this house, you getting locked up. We not finna accept that crime over here. Coming on my property. What the hell? I'm like, people are crazy. Seem like this is still about love. It's I don't know who is going through this shit. It seems like no matter what reading I do, it's just keep being love, 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 love. And now you got the lovers that came out. It's like no matter what I do, no matter what I do, it's like I can switch decks. I can do all types of stuff, and the same messages keep coming out. It's like, man, I need to do something to kick somebody out my energy. Because I'm like, damn, because I still got to do the reading that I got to post on my YouTube, and I bet that shit finna be about love. It's like, damn, I don't want every reading. I think the one that I like more than anything, I like it, but I don't like it. I think the readings that I like more than anything is I like witchcraft. I like the witchcraft readings. And the reason why is because I can see a lot. Normally when I do the reading, I can always tell you what type of spell it is. I can always, tell you when it was casted, how it was casted. I pick up a lot of energy when it comes to witchcraft, and a lot of people can't do that, and not trying to brag or anything like that, but some people can't pick up witchcraft. Witchcraft is one of those things, and it's not one of the things that I even studied. It's just as I was, doing readings, the ancestors and just stuff was just talking, and they kind of, walked me through it and taught me it. So, I love, witchcraft readings, but the only thing that I don't like about witchcraft readings is that when it comes to witchcraft, people really never do the things they're supposed to do. They always, and that's the part that I hate, is that people never do what they're supposed to do, and they allow this witchcraft to take root and ruin their lives. Like, I have seen clients literally that I'm having a conversation with them face to face through video chat, and it's a normal conversation. 2 weeks later, they went full blown crazy. And it's to the point where I'm like, I'm not even going to chat with you anymore. And it's all because they allowed witchcraft to stay on them. You know, some people let this witchcraft, they let it get the best of them. And it's like, look, when the witchcraft is there, you got to do the things that you need to do in order to get rid of that stuff. You can't let that just keep attacking you, and then the next thing you know, you're going crazy, or you got health problems, you got mental issues. You know, it's like it's all types of stuff that comes from witchcraft. The person done affected your money, and you don't have money flow coming in. You lost everything. You lost your marriage. That's the part that I hate, because I always try to tell people what to do. Like, I'm starting to see spirits hover around me, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all coming around me for? Because I'm like, I'm starting to see spirits hover around me. Like, it's kind of like, especially it was one right here on my right. Like, this person was kind of like, stop talking about my child. I'm like, okay, I'll get off the topic. I'll stop talking about it. I'm like, I don't even know who I was talking about. I'm just talking in general. Okay. I'm like, damn. Some, you know, that's the thing about it too. You know, opening these portals and stuff like that. You know, you do, you know, end up interacting with people, you know, spiritual guides and stuff like that. Because that nigga that was just right there, somebody got a powerful protector. He said, baby, don't talk about mine. Somebody got a powerful protector. I'm like, and it's always like that. Normally when the spirits and stuff hover around me, it's always like, you know, like, nah, don't talk about that. You know, don't, you know, leave them alone. I'm like, okay, but you know, I'm just telling you, you know, you need to do what you're supposed to do. You know, the moment that I realized that I was under witchcraft, I did everything. I stripped that shit left and right. And you know, even when, you know, because, you know, ceremonies and stuff can be expensive. And, you know, I even tell clients, I got some spirit behind me. I even tell my clients, like, you know, if you can't afford it, because like a ceremony is expensive. I think on my website it's like $2,500 or something like that, because ceremonies is animal sacrifice. It's animals. I'm not gonna pay for that shit out of pocket. Somebody said Jesus is free, but yet all of y'all are still broke and everything else. So clearly Jesus is ignoring y'all ass. But anyways, ceremonies can be very expensive, and you know, but I still tell my clients, like, look, if you can't afford it, do this in the meantime. Like, I will give them remedies that they need to do. The only thing is that those remedies you probably got to do every single day, because you will notice, like, you know, whenever magic has taken root, it requires a ceremony. Now, if you do a cleansing or a ritual, it's not going to do anything. But there is like certain cleansings and stuff you can do, that you can do it, and it kind of, you'll see that things will be normal for a couple of hours or maybe a day, but then the next day it will be right back on you. And so in order to keep that away, you would have to keep doing that every single day. Every single day you would have to keep doing it, versus just doing the ceremony and getting rid of the shit. So it's like that's kind of the difference. But whenever I'm, because sometimes you got to do those solutions, because if you got somebody that they were doing magic on their money and now this person don't got money, it's like, okay, look, these are the things that you need to do. Get your wallet out. Put a bay leaf in your wallet. Put some basil in your wallet. Get some money oil and anoint the four corners of your wallet. Sprinkle some cinnamon in your wallet. Where it's like there's things that you can do, but you got to understand it's not going to manifest as fully because you have somebody working against you. And so there is things that can be done, but you got to understand you're not going to get the full effect of it because you have somebody working against you. You said if I was wrong, would I surrender? If I was wrong about what? If I'm wrong about anything, I'm not prideful. I'm not prideful at all. But if that's one of the Christians talking about if I'm wrong about, y'all gotta look. The one thing that Christians gotta understand, in which you guys are the worst out of every other religion, is that you gotta respect the fact that everybody is not going to follow your religion. Where it's like half of the time, I don't know why y'all flock to this page when this page is all about spirituality. And so it's like, you got to understand that, look, we're not going to see eye to eye. There's no need for a debate. There's no need for anything else because we're not going to see eye to eye. I do not want to worship the white colonizer religion. This was the thing that passed down to us. Before we got on that boat, we had our own religions, we had our own spiritual practices, and we had our own deities. And even when it comes to stuff like that, because like I still go to church. I still go to church every once in a while because I love the worship. Like I said, I still speak in tongues. I grew up Pentecostal apostolic, and we believed in the power of Holy Spirit, and we believed in the evidence of speaking in tongues. And even to this day, I still speak in tongues. And I believe in Holy Spirit because Holy Spirit is Ashe. And I do believe in Jesus, but to me, Jesus is Obatala. And so we believe in these things. We're just calling them different things. But you guys got to understand respect and boundaries. If you know that nobody is going to accept what it is that you say, dust the sand from off your sandals and move on. Some of you try to be so ignorant and stuff in the comments, and it's like, look, I do not want to believe in your white colonizer Jesus. That's just it's just not for me. It's just not. I mean, even when you really look in the Bible, Jesus wasn't white, the way that he's described and stuff like that. But you have whitewashed everything in that Bible, and you don't understand the importance of that. That is saying that we're not important. That is saying that us melanin folks, that we're not important. That every great savior and prophet and apostle and everything was white. And that if nothing in that Bible is black, then how do we relate to it? And this is why so many of us, we struggle with our worth. We struggle with our worth because of the programming that has been done to us all over the years, throughout the years. We are constantly being put in a position that black is not right. And then even finally, when they start putting us in films, in order for it to be a good relationship, the black woman had to be married to a white man, or the black man had to be married to a white woman. And so even when you finally start putting us on screen, you still taught us psychologically, in order for us to be right, we got to be connected to white. And so we're constantly being told that in order for us to be anything, in order for us to have our worth, in order for us to have our being, it got to be associated with white. But when you really look at the Bible, every time white was used as a disease. White was used as a punishment. It said that when people acted up, they was turned leprous, white patches in the skin. It didn't say that it was black. It didn't say that they turned black. It said that they were leprous. That is white. And so every time when the Bible do describe something white in the Bible, it is a curse. It was always a curse. It was never anything good when it described white. Even with Moses putting his hand in and taking it out and it turned white. And they like, oh my gosh, you're cursed and you're diseased. Oh no, it's back in and I'm back melanin, nigga. And so we're always gonna have different point of views. I used to always find it, strange, even as a kid, when it came to Abraham, and it said that, God took Abraham away from his gods, that he took them away from what they were worshiping and stuff like that, and Abraham followed him. And I used to always thought that that was strange, because I'm like, why would you take somebody away from their God? And it wasn't until I got older that I started thinking about this. And I was like, wait a minute. It was the slave owners that created this book. And it's like, they are telling us our story right in front of our face, of reminding us how we had our own spirituality. We had our own deity, our own religion. We had our own systems of divination, and that you ripped us from that and said, serve and follow me. It's right in front of our faces what you did to us. And then the Bible uses everything in our systems. You use divination, you use crystals, you do animal sacrifice, you do all of these things right in front of our faces, but yours is right because yours was done with God, and ours is wrong in witchcraft and everything else because it's connected to those gods. How did that make sense? Water is water no matter who uses it. Fire is fire no matter who uses it. And that is the debate that I always hate with Christians, is that you would do these things and you say that it's right because yours was done in the name of Jesus, and ours was wrong because we did it in the name of either ourselves or one of our deities. How did that make sense? And so, when you read the Bible, it is kind of like a slap in our face, because even the Bible taught us what was done to us, that we were ripped out of our lands and forced to follow a foreign god, and to completely give up our identity, to completely give up our deities, that some of us have no idea where our history actually lead us to. So I don't know. And now you took our deities away, and now we got new forefathers. Now we got new deities and everything. I mean, I just don't do I mean, you got to understand, not everybody is going to do the white colonizer Jesus. It could have been different if we would have even been included in the Bible. But even in that, we wasn't even included. Black people just start recently including themselves. But when that Bible first was introduced to us, everything was white. We were even taught that we were the scums of the earth, and that's why we were slaves. That white was supposed to be rulers over us. And all of this was justified through scripture. So if you want to follow a religion like that, then you follow a religion like that, but understand that it will affect your worth. It will affect your psyche. And then not to mention is that when you look in Christianity, it's like I say it all the time. The descriptions that it describes that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, that the devil is the accuser of the brethren, that represents Christianity as a whole. That represents Christianity as a whole. And I don't even know why y'all keep using the name Jesus. When you look at the character of Jesus in the Bible, that nigga was nothing like y'all. Jesus was not like y'all. Jesus went after the Sadducees and the Pharisees. Jesus went after the people in power. Jesus was not trying to do little debates. Jesus said, if they don't agree with you, dust that shit from off of your sandals and keep it moving. Jesus was not a forceful energy that I'm forcing you to follow me. That even when people followed blindly, he was patient enough to wait until they were ready to change them, like Paul. And that is why Paul is so powerful in the New Testament. It wasn't a forced change. He was changed when he was ready. But if some of you were to have your way with half of those characters in the Bible, they probably would have been dead instead of changed. And so that's just a big difference. I mean, Christianity is just a joke to me, because it's supposed to be the path of peace, but it's everything but peace. This is not a path that you get peace. It's nothing but a group of people that condemn each other every single day, that always find a way to bring the other person down, that's always competing with one another. That is not peace. And then half of you don't even have a relationship with the very name that you claim. Because if you had a relationship, you wouldn't be acting like that. When you have a relationship with the deities change those behaviors that are not right. They uproot those behaviors that are not right. And so some of you are claiming to have this relationship, but your behavior shows that you don't have this relationship at all. Christianity it's only held us back, and it has taken us away from what our true identity is. And some of us is just still clueless. We still don't know who we are. Okay, anyways, the overall energy is the world card. Somebody, the world card to me is just like the Wheel of Fortune, but the Wheel of Fortune is saying that the wheel is turning, and depending on what season you're in, if you're in a good season, you're going into a bad. If you're in a bad season, you're going into a good, because that's unavoidable. Since we're already talking about the Bible, let's talk about Ecclesiastic, where it says that it's a season for everything. These seasons are unavoidable. I don't care how many rituals you do. I don't care how good of a relationship that you have with your deity. We all go through seasons of good and bad. We all go through seasons of ups and downs. And so it's like, no matter what, we're gonna go through these seasons. It's unavoidable. And so it's like, if you are in a good season, you have to be like Joseph. You gotta be very smart. That when Joseph received that dream of I think it was the 7 good cows and the 7 sick cows, he knew exactly what that dream meant. And he said that we will have 7 good years and we will have 7 bad years. And the whole purpose of this is that when we are in the good, we need to store up, so that when we are in the bad, we used what we got from the good in order to maintain, in order to sustain. Some of us, we give up on God, our religion, our deities, and everything else so fast because we don't understand that there is a season of good and bad. And that when we are in our season of good, when we speak to Oya and Ilegwa and Yemaya and Obatala, they respond to us immediately. They talk to us immediately. They immediately give us what we want. But when we go through the season of bad, which is also the season of testing, and now when we're praying to them, we only hear from them once a month, or we don't hear from them at all, and they only show us signs and synchronicities. That is the time that a lot of us say, fuck it, I don't want to deal with you anymore. But that is the testing of your faith. It's to see if you have a good relationship with them. Because even the Bible said it, where it's like, it was one of the parables. It was saying, it's like looking in the mirror and then walking away and forgetting what you look like. That's exactly what some of us is like in our season of testing. That in the season of good, Oshun gave us her mirror and said, look in my mirror to know exactly who you are. And then when we had to go through our season of bad, which is the season of testing, we forgot the very image that Oshun showed us in our mirror. And we're still just as clueless, and we don't know our power. We forgot that we have Ashe. We forgot that we have our personal Ashe, that we can do rituals, or we can work with the ancestors, that we don't have to work on the deities that's not in this plane. And so we got to learn that even in the bad, we are still operating as if we're in the good. We got to learn that. We got to learn that time of testing, that we are still going to operate as if we are in our good, that we don't forsake them and we don't give up on them. Because it's very rare for a deity to forsake you. It's normally always the other way around. It's you forsake the deity. So the Wheel of Fortune is very similar. I mean, the World card is very similar to the Wheel of Fortune. But like I said, the Wheel of Fortune is letting you know whatever season you're in, you're getting ready to go into the opposite season. So you need to be prepared for that. And the Wheel of Fortune is a destiny card that is not going to change no matter what. The World card is letting you know that a cycle is getting ready to be completed, and that you're going to end up going into a good season, because this is the card of wholeness. This is the card of fulfillment. This is the card of celebration of life. And this is the card of arriving. And so when the World card is here, this is actually getting ready to, it's ending a season to get ready to start a good season. And so someone is getting ready to come into a good season. And the clarifier, it gives us a hint of what that season is going to be. The clarifier, we have the King of Swords, which is someone that's very strong and determined. And we have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork and collaboration. Someone is getting ready to come back. And this person, when they come back, they're going to be very strong and determined. This person is holding the sword of truth. That is the sword that you see in the Ace of Swords, the King of Swords, as well as in other cards, that this sword is the sword of truth. When this sword is being held, no lie is told. So this person is going to end up coming back in truth. And so be expected to receive a message that you probably didn't know about. Get ready to receive some truth that it may even end up shocking you. But this person is not going to come in with a lie, because this person is afraid that if they come to you with a lie, that you won't accept them. And their whole goal is to collaborate with you and to work with you. And so someone is getting ready to come in, and when you look at the World card is naked, her titties is out. You can see that naked ass body. The only thing that's covered up is the kitty cat by a blanket. And so whenever you see anything naked, naked is always talking about vulnerable. Somebody is getting ready to come back and they're going to be extremely vulnerable. The world card is also the card of travel. And this is a major arcana. This is not one of the kings or queens or one of the court cards. And so this person is getting ready to travel back to you. And this is a heavy form of travel. And so someone is getting ready to travel back to you. They're going to come with truth and clarity. They're going to be very strong and determined. Whenever this is the King of Swords that's describing how this person is coming back, this is the energy of chasing, which means that this is somebody that's not going to take no for an answer. This is someone that is going to keep trying to pursue you. I think the only way that this person is not going to pursue you is if you directly tell them, fuck you, I already got somebody else. Or something in that nature. Is that I think that that's what's going to end up making this person not pursue you anymore. But that's the one thing about divination. If you know that when this person come back, you want them to work a little bit for it because you put them through some shit, make them work for it by ignoring them a little bit. Make them work for it by just telling them, you know what, I need some time to think about this. Don't make them work for it by saying you already got somebody else when you don't. Don't make them work for it by saying that, fuck you, I don't want to be with you anymore when you know you really do. Because this person is already very weary on coming back. If you tell them some shit like that, this person is going to disappear. So you got to be very careful on how you make this person work for it. This is someone, they're going to come back strong and determined. So if you silence them for a little bit, this is someone that's still going to have the energy that will chase you while you're being silent. This is someone that will still chase you while you are saying you need time. But this is someone that will easily give up if you are saying that you already replaced them. So just keep that in mind when this person comes back. You have in the crossing energy, you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is all about fast acting energy. Something fast is getting ready to happen. So remember, the first card is the main thing that this section is talking about. The main thing that this section is talking about is something fast is getting ready to happen. The clarifier is going to tell us what that thing is. And what it's saying is the Two of Cups. That this is going to be a relationship that's going to form very fast. This is somebody that the overall energy is saying that this person is going to travel back. And what they're traveling back is in hopes of collaboration. It's connecting again. And this connection is going to lead to a Two of Cups, which is a relationship. So with this paired with the Eight of Wands, this is going to be a very fast reconnection. So this is telling me that this is going to end up being somebody moving in. This is going to end up being somebody that when they show up to your doorsteps, they're already going to have their bags in hand. So, because this is somebody that you're familiar with, because we're going to jump a little bit just to know how I know this is somebody you're familiar with, because you have the Six of Cups here in the challenge position. And whenever the Six of Cups is here, this is indicating that this is somebody from the past. So this is definitely somebody from the past. This is somebody you know. This is somebody that you're very familiar with. And this person is going to end up coming back. This person is going to end up coming back with bags in hands, because this is talking about a very fast reunion. This person may have been slow coming back, but the reappearing and the reconnection of this is extremely fast. And this could happen any day now, because the world card is number 21, which is the number of Elegua. And Elegua is the deity of open doors and open roads. And so this door is getting ready to bust wide open. This door is getting ready to bust wide open. Somebody is getting ready to have a return. And then you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is energy of days and weeks, not months. Something is getting ready to happen very fast. It's going to happen suddenly. Even though you know somebody is coming back, this is still going to be somebody that's going to end up surprising you in some type of way that it could take your breath away, because you knew they were coming back. You just didn't know they were coming back like this, or you just didn't know they were coming back this fast, or with this much with this much, what's the word I'm looking for? Intensity. You have in the crowning position, you have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is all about a decision that needs to be made. And that decision that needs to be made is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is the absolute of nothing. It's no money, no nothing. But this is not talking about money. This is talking about insecurities. Because the Five of Pentacles, it represents insecurities. And it's being out in the cold. So this person is getting ready to make a decision of if they're going to let go of their insecurities. This is somebody that it feels like they're at the last phase of their test. That spirit has been working with them. Their spirit has been giving them multiple downloads. And now they are at the end that they must make a decision. Now let's go into the clarifiers to see what the clarifiers have to say, what was already spoken, that there's a decision that needs to be made. Clearly, we know what the decision is going to be because of the clarifier. This person is going to end up choosing to give, which is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is all about, why am I losing my thoughts and words? And see, no, that's another thing. 21 is the number of Elegua. And Elegua is the deity of communication. One of you, if not both of you, may be lost for words when you get back together. That somebody might not have the words to say or don't know what words to say, because normally that's very rare for me to just, I'm a Gemini. I'm the master of words. So someone is going to end up being lost for words. And you have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is all about reciprocation. That's what I'm looking for. This person want to reciprocate. This person want to give. And this person is in a lot of regret. This is someone that's in a lot of regret. They're in a lot of regret. And that's part of their insecurities. That this is someone that's very regretful for what they have done. And that is what's sparking the insecurity. Is this person is thinking about all the things that they have done to you, and they don't know if you're going to accept them back or not. This is someone that's, this is someone that's they feel guilty. This is someone that don't know if you're going to accept them back or not, but they're still going to make a chance. They're going to try to get back in your life. And that's why, it's very critical where it's like, choose your battles. You need to be very careful with your words. If you want this person back, be very careful how you approach this, because this person is already coming in very weak emotionally. This person's mind and emotion are in two completely different places. This person is not balanced. In their mind, this person is very sharp. They know exactly what it is that they want. Their head is telling them, you need to go in, you need to fight, you need to be determined, you need to don't take no for an answer, you need to chase them, you need to show them that you love them, you need to tell them the truth, you need to speak what haven't been spoken. But their heart is telling them something completely different. Their heart is telling them the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. It's giving them an insecurity, And it's telling them, remember what you have done. Remember all the things you said. Remember all the things you did. Are you really foolish enough to think that this person is going to accept you back without giving you a punishment for what you've done to them? And so this person is not balanced at all. This person's heart is telling them, you need to be very careful because this person is not going to accept you back. But their mind is telling them that a decision needs to be made. And Spirit is, for whatever reason, Spirit is putting a clock in my head where this person feels, for some reason, it's something about time for them. This person thinks that they're running out of time. And so that's another reason why this thing is going to happen very fast. Something is going to happen extremely fast with the Eight of Wands being here, and you do have the World card here. The only thing that can make this faster is the Chariot, which is another card of movement and travel. But this is going to happen very fast. It's going to be, you blink, and this person is going to be the one that's knocking at your door. You have in the challenge position, you have the King of Wands now. The King of Wands is someone that's very beautiful. And so one of the things that this person could have been is a nasty ass hoe. Because the King of Wands is someone that's very beautiful. This is someone that's a leader. This is someone that has vision. And so this could definitely, but they're not in the reverse. This person is in the upright. And so this is someone that has probably learned how not to be a hoe anymore. This could have been someone that didn't have vision at first, that they failed for everybody that said, hey, everybody that, everybody that said they were good looking, they felt that they had to sleep with. But this is someone that has definitely learned the lesson because they're in the upright. And whenever this person is in the upright, this is someone that is, this is someone that's balanced in to an extent because they're imbalanced with their emotion and their mind. But with the King of Wands being here as well, this could be someone that, maybe they found a spiritual gift as well, because the King of Wands is a visionary. This is someone that's a prophet, that's a seer, that's a diviner. This person can see in some type of way. This person has the spiritual gift of discernment. This person has, it's something about their sight that this person can see, or they have the spiritual gift of insight. It's one of those gifts or anointings because this person is able to see. The King of Wands is, the King of Wands can see very well. Whereas when you have the Queen of Cups or the King of Cups, those are more like your evangelists that, it's something about their words that's able to really stir up something in someone, and it can really break through walls and stuff like that. But this person is being seen as the King of Wands, that this person can see very well. This person is, this person is definitely some type of anointing. They're a prophet, they're a seer, they're a diviner. They have the gift of discernment. They have the gift of insight. And it's paired with the Lovers. And so, especially with this paired with the Lovers, this is someone that could be a dreamer as well, because that's a form of seeing. That was one of Joseph's gifts. And this person, regardless of how this sight is being displayed in their life, whether it's an anointing, whether it's a gift, this person is seeing who you are. And God is giving this person a download of letting this person know that you are their twin flame, that this is the person that you are supposed to be with. And this person is receiving this message. And this is someone that they have already been with, because the Six of Pentacles is here. But this person is getting a download. They're getting a very strong download. And this person, and I really think that more than anything, this is a dream. Because when you look at this, you got the cloud here in the thing, you have the angel that's coming from the cloud, and this is someone that's definitely getting a dream. Someone is dreaming about you, but they're not dreaming about you in a lustful sense where they are saying that, oh, I want to have sex with this person and stuff like that. This is someone that's seeing you as their divine counterpart. This is someone that's seeing you as their twin flame. This is someone that is seeing you as somebody that they are supposed to be with. And now, at the end of the day, free will must take its course. That God can show them all day, but they must choose that this is the path that they're going to take. Let's see what this person's current energy is. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles, which means a gift is getting ready to come, and I believe that gift is them physically. It's their physical bodies. So what energy is this person in? What current energy? Oh, damn, goddamn. Ten of Swords. This person is in a lot of pain. What energy is this person currently in? This person is in a lot of pain. But there could be magic here. Because this person is in the energy of the Ten of Swords. But the Queen of Swords is a card of judgment. This is someone that's making a judgment on somebody. And the judgment that this person is making is the Ace of Wands. Someone is doing magic on this person. There's a Queen of Wands that's doing magic on this person. There's the Ace of Wands is magic. Magic is being done on this person to cause this person a lot of pain. And if this is truly a twin flame connection, you are feeling this as well. Because twin flames are connected to each other. And so when somebody is doing magic on one of the twins, the other twin feel it as well. Even though the magic is not directly being thrown at you, it's still gonna affect you because you are tied to this person. And whenever there's a twin flame, you can do a cord cutting and all types of stuff. You're never cutting yourself away from your twin. Don't let anybody fool you and think that you can cut yourself away from a twin. What God has put together, let no man tear it apart. Nobody have the ability to remove something that God has put together. No, they can do some witchcraft and break up the relationship and stuff like that, but nobody is strong enough. Nobody's spell is strong enough that they are able to literally, spiritually cut a twin away from each other. They are so entangled with each other that it can never be done. That balance will always be there, whether they are physically together or not. And you can cord cut and everything else, and you're not going to cut yourself away from a twin. You can cut yourself away from other people that you have been having sex with. You can cut yourself away from soul ties, but you can't cut yourself away from a twin. But this is someone that's in a lot of pain because they're in the energy of the Ten of Swords. But this is someone that is casting judgment on this person. Someone is doing magic on this person. There's heavy magic here with the Ace of Wands. Let's see what did this person feel about you? What did this person feel about you? With a twin flame, there's always going to be an attraction for the other person. But it's only the person that mess up the connection that suffers. You know, if you're not the person that messed up the connection, you don't suffer. It's the person that exit the connection that suffer. This is someone that's just feeling the effect of witchcraft because there's magic being done. But this witchcraft is not meant to make attraction or anything like that. This is to cause pain. And so you know this is about you if you have been feeling a lot of pain out of nowhere. And this is the swords is mental energy. And so this is mental torment. And so whenever there's mental magic that's being done, this is you feeling that you're not enough. This is someone falling into a depression. This is someone thinking that they're not worthy. This is someone that is you're extremely tired all the time. That is the energy of mental energy. This is mental energy. This is not attraction magic. This is mental. Somebody is really draining this person mentally. What do they feel? What do they feel? Well, the feeling is good. You got the temperance card with the 7 of wands. This is the temperance is all about rebalancing. This is someone that regardless of this pain that they're feeling, they want to rebalance this situation. And the 7 of wands here, the 7 of wands is all about being very protective, being competitive, being persevering, maintaining control. And so this is another strong energy of saying that this person is going to chase you. This is someone that's not going to give up. And even the clarifier is once again, is the 3 of wands. This is another sight card. The 3 of wands, it talks about foresight. And foresight is the ability to see something before it unfolds. This is someone that is very anointed. Or I wouldn't necessarily say, well, this is someone with a very powerful gift. This person can see. This is the second card. This person can see. Or it could be the fact that this energy is coming out because they're receiving a lot of downloads. Because when you receive a lot of downloads from spirit, it will come up the same way that you will get a lot of cards that represents prophetic vision and things like that, that it puts you back in the realm of a prophet, of a seer, of a diviner, because they're all the same thing. Of a medium, they all have the ability to see. Foresight, insight, discernment, all of those gifts has the ability to see. And so if someone is getting extreme downloads, they might not have a gift of sight, but by getting a lot of downloads, it will come up as a reading as if you have the ability of sight. But this is someone that has the ability of sight, or it could just be keep being represented because they're keep getting a lot of downloads. This is someone that spirit has not forsaken this person. This person is really, they're seeing this relationship clear as day. This is someone that know what they need to do. You know, what is their next move towards you? Oh, it's going on midnight. I need to be wrapping it up. I haven't ate yet. I be getting on here saying like, oh, I'm going to do this for an hour. And I'm always on here too damn long. That's why I can't do a live every single day. Yep, this person is rushing in. You got the Knight of Wands. This person is getting ready to rush in. And every time when it talks about this person come in, it's keep being represented as wands. And wands is fast energy. You know, wands is very different than wands is very different than cups and stuff like that. This is someone that's coming in, they're rushing in, and then it's paired with the strength card. The strength card is the card all about passion. This person has a strong passion. This person has a strong passion for you. And the strength card is also the card of influence. Because when you look at the depiction of the strength card, there's an angel here that is taming the lion. And so this is someone that, like I said, the person was being seen as the King of Wands in the last reading. And when the King of Wands is in reverse, the King of Wands is a hoe. And so if this person is being seen as an upright King of Wands, that means they was a reverse King of Wands in order to start them, to start this dilemma. And so this person was a hoe. And so when you have the strength card, when it comes to a hoe, this is somebody that's probably not going to be a hoe anymore, because the strength card is all about taming that inner desire. And this is an angel that is teaching this lion how to tame his desire. And so this is someone, when they come around this time, this could be someone that is going to tame their desire. And so this is someone that is this is someone that's not going to be a hoe this time around. They're really going to do things different. Because this person is learning the difference between strength and control. One of the karmic lessons that this person could have been going through is that spirit could have allowed them to be a hoe. That spirit is like, look, I'm about to let you date as many people as you want, mess around with as many people as you want, and that this person, as they was messing around with all of these people, they end up having a sense of loneliness as they start seeing that these people are only coming in just to get your money, just to get your dick, just to get sex, and then they're out. Half of these people don't want to cuddle with you. Half of these people are like, look, you snore. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to sleep at my house. And this is one of the things that made this person think about their connection. It made them think that they took their connection for granted. And so this person, it was in allowing them to stay trapped in their own sexual desire is the thing that actually healed this person. Because now they're seeing how empty it is just to have sex without intimacy, to have sex without meaning and purpose. This is someone that's learning a lesson based on their own trap. I'm gonna end this, Spirit. What else do you wanna add before I end this? Because I gotta eat. What else would you like to add? What do you want to add, Spirit? What do you want to add, Spirit? High Priestess. High Priestess is another card. High Priestess is definitely downloads. High Priestess is about sacred knowledge. The High Priestess is all about the subconscious. This is someone that's being worked on the subconscious. That this person is receiving downloads. Once again, it's another thing. This person is receiving the messages like Spirit is doing this part. Spirit is definitely doing his part. Let's see what this clarifier is about to be. The World card, you go back to your overall energy of the original read, which is the completion to a cycle. This person is going through a very powerful cycle and this person is towards the end of the cycle. Somebody, whoever this is, expect movement to come in. Movement is about to happen. There's about to, it's keep saying that this person is towards the end of this cycle. They are right towards the end. They are right towards the end of a breakthrough. They are this close of going into the world card. I mean, this person is, the only thing that could possibly hold this person back is the pain that they're going through. But this person is right toward the end of a breakthrough. They are like right there. And the high priestess is here. So this person is, receiving download. This person is right here on the brink of a breakthrough. If they just make it through this last part, if they just make it through this last part, this person is going to end up being home. They just got to make it through this last part. Spirit, what is going to be the outcome of this? Outcome, you got the Three of Pentacles working together as a teamwork. You got the Three of Pentacles with the King of Swords, someone returning strong and determined, and you got it paired with the Ace of Pentacles, which the Ace of Pentacles is a gift. This is a really good outcome, that this person is going to come to collaborate. This person is going to be strong and determined, and this person is going to end up being a physical gift. This is a gift from the universe. What is the clarifier? Death card, major transformation. This person is coming back. This person is coming back. This person, there is some chaos right now. With the Five of Wands being at the bottom of the deck, you know, this person is still in the middle of a fight. But at the end of the day, I mean, the conclusion and everything is showing that this person is coming back. It's keep indicating that this person is towards the end of their cycle. This thing is about to birth into something pretty soon. And so this is going to end up being a reconnection. Somebody is going to end up being back with their partner. All right, guys, I'm out. Hopefully everybody have a really good night. I'm about to eat and sleep. I was going to go to the gym, but it's too late now. I wasn't expecting to be on here this long, but it was worth it. You know, it's always good for people to hear what Spirit have to say. So have a good night, everybody. I'm going to do my regular YouTube reading in the morning, and then I'll post it. So you should be able to see the regular posted reading sometime tomorrow. And then after that, that's when I'll start posting clips of that reading, like I always do. So there'll be a new reading up tomorrow. Just give me by the end of the day. It's going to be sometime tomorrow. And then make sure you guys go check out the website. Start using your love oils, your money oils, and things like that. Start using those things. You know, I tell people all the time, man, you know, one of the best ways to strengthen your relationship when this person come back, a red candle, Psalms 24 and 25. Psalms 24, get some love oil, rub it around that red candle, Psalms 24 and 25. Some of us, we got to learn how to protect our marriage. We got to learn how to protect our relationship. People are always going to try to come up against it because they're jealous, they're envious, because they don't want to see you do well, because they're a hidden enemy. People are always going to try to come up against what it is that you have. We got to learn how to start protecting our stuff. we got to learn how to start protecting it. And so there's simple things that we can do in order to protect our marriage, in order to protect our relationships, and in order to protect our money. That's the one thing that because I'm the same way, y'all. Sometimes I don't, because I don't do readings on myself. I always hated doing readings on myself. I can do readings on myself, but I never like doing readings on myself, and so I'm not proactive with that. Because if I'm very proactive with doing readings on myself, it's a lot that I can see before it happens. But normally I'm always on the opposite side, that once it happens, that's when I'll finally do divination and I'll see what's going on. And then that's when I'll consult with the Orishas and everything in order to get me out of it. And so maybe I need to start being more proactive too with doing readings myself. But normally I wait till I get with my Babalao and I allow my Babalao to do readings for me. But I don't know. It's something about getting a reading from somebody else. I can do readings on myself. I just, sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes you don't always want to know what's going to happen before it happens. Sometimes I don't want to know. Especially when it comes to, like people doing witchcraft and shit like that. It's like, sometimes you don't want to know, because it's like, damn, here go another bitch trying to, send some negative energy my way. And so sometimes I just don't want to know. I just be like, let it happen. If it happens. Because I'm like, I'm always doing cleansings and stuff like that. So I'm like, if God let it break through, it's a reason why he allowed it to break through. Because sometimes God allow it to happen just so that we can recognize our power. Just so that God can show you, like, I need you to see how powerful you are. You don't recognize your power in a good season. You don't recognize your power when everything is going right. And so sometimes God will allow the negative to happen in your life just so that you know who you are and the power that you truly possess. Because sometimes we be staying dormant on majority of our spiritual gifts because we never been in a position to activate those gifts and to let those gifts actually protect us and guide us and do what they're supposed to do. And so sometimes the bad gotta happen in order to activate something in us, which works out for our good. Because that's just like with me. Like, I would have never gotten into spell work if it wasn't for somebody doing witchcraft on me. It took somebody doing witchcraft on me in order for me to say, you know what, I'm finna learn this shit and I'm finna master this shit. But if it wasn't for that, I would have never learned it. I would have never learned how to do all of this stuff. And so sometimes the bad have to happen. When we see the death card is the card of transformation. You never know how you're going to be transformed, but transformation always happens with pressure. It was the person that did witchcraft on me was an ex. People always doing witchcraft. People are always doing witchcraft. Be very careful with people. But sometimes the bad have to happen in order for you to become the person that you're supposed to be. And so we can't really keep getting into this thing of depression. We got to learn how to work through this shit, press through this shit, and become the person that God intended for us to be. Some of you really are great and powerful prophets, evangelists, seers, shamans, warriors, and all types of stuff. And you don't know it because you haven't been in a position to utilize your gifts and your power. And so the more you practice and stuff your gifts, the better and stuff is going to be. I'll close with this. I remember when I was a kid, and you never learn about empaths in the church. The church don't teach you about every spiritual gift. They only teach you about the gifts that really benefits the church and what they know of. And I remember as a kid, when I would go around people, I could always feel what the person was feeling. And I never knew why I could do that. But every time when I was around somebody, I could feel everything that they were going through. That even though the person had a smile on their face and they were like, everything was well and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, you're depressed, you're sad. And I used to always, go to people and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why do you feel so sad? Why do you feel so down? And it just used to make people just break down and just cry. And I'm like, I didn't learn until I was older that I was an empath. Didn't learn until I was older. You don't learn stuff like that in the church. And so the church will only teach you about gifts if it's prophetic in nature, if it's under the umbrella of an evangelist or something like that. But if it's any of those other gifts, they don't know. They can't teach you what they don't know. And some of this stuff you're figuring it out yourself. And so some of you're going through this transformation because it was something important that you need to learn. You need to make sure that you learn what it is that Spirit has been revealing to you. All right, y'all. Have a good night. I'm out.